Hey, did you know that flipping your baby to face outward in a carrier before 6 months could silently jeopardize their hips and even their breathing? It's a shocker, I know. Something so small, so innocent, done with all the love in your heart, could carry hidden risks. We've all been there, wanting nothing but the best for our little ones, only to stumble on pitfalls we didn't even see coming. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on 3 common parenting moves: carrying positions, white noise, and even those tiny mittens that might be doing more harm than good. Stick with me, because I've got the hard truths and the easy fixes to keep your baby safe and thriving. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Have you ever wondered if the way you soothe your baby to sleep could actually hurt them in the long run? I'm talking about white noise. Cranking it up, thinking it'll drown out the world so your little one can snooze. It's tempting, especially on those endless nights when you're pacing the floor, bleary-eyed, praying for just an hour of quiet. But here's the twist. If it's too loud, it's not just annoying. It's dangerous. I've seen parents place those machines right by the crib, volume maxed out, not realizing they're risking permanent hearing loss. That's right. Something meant to calm could impact speech, language, even reading skills down the line. The American Academy of Pediatrics warns to keep it at or below 50 decibels. Think a quiet chat. The CDC stretches it to 60 decibels, like a normal convo a few feet away. But how many of us are checking that? I remember a mom I met at a park, frazzled, telling me her baby only slept with the white noise blaring. She didn't know it was hitting 70 decibels until she borrowed my sound app to test it. Her face went pale. She'd had no clue. So, let's break this down. Why does this happen? How does it affect those tiny ears? And what can you do right now to make it safe without losing that sleep-saving tool? I've got a step-by-step for you, from placement to volume checks, because I know those sleepless nights, and I know you need solutions that work. Let's back up a bit and lay this out clear. When it comes to your baby's early months, every choice, how you hold them, what they hear, what they touch, shapes their future in ways you might not see for years. Burst that outward-facing carrier switch before 6 months. Picture this. You're out for a walk, baby facing the world, giggling at the sights, and you're thinking, they love this. But their legs are dangling straight down, thighs pressed tight, putting strain on hips that are still soft, still forming. That's a setup for developmental dysplasia of the hips, or DDH, where the hip joint doesn't sit right in the socket. Left unchecked, it's not just a little discomfort. It's limping, waddling, even arthritis or hip replacement later in life. And safety? At 4 months, when they start holding their head up, we think they're ready, but they tire fast. Their chin drops to their chest, blocking airways, and positional asphyxiation can sneak in silent and unseen. I've felt that panic myself, adjusting a carrier mid-walk, realizing my little one's head wasn't as steady as I thought. And there's white noise, as I mentioned, too loud, too close, and it's not just a nuisance, it's a threat to hearing development. Studies show prolonged exposure above safe levels messes with auditory processing, which ties straight into how they'll learn to talk and read. And don't get me started on mittens. I get it. Those scratches on their sweet face break your heart. But covering their hands while they're awake blocks so much more than sharp nails. It stops them from sucking on fingers, which builds immunity by introducing bacteria early, shifts their gag reflex for safer eating, and teaches tongue control for solids. It's also their way to self-soothe. Heart rate down, stress down, less crying for both of you. I've watched a friend wrestle with mittens every day, only to see her baby fuss more, missing that natural comfort. So here's the deal. Keep them inward-facing with knees up and legs spread for 6 months. Use the TICS rule. Tight, in view, close to kiss. Keep chin up, supported back to ensure safety. For white noise, place it far from the crib. Check volume with a sound app. Aim for 50 decibels and turn it off when they're awake. And mittens, save them for sleep. Trim nails instead and let those hands explore. These aren't just tips, they're shields for your baby's growth, built from watching countless parents navigate the same rocky road I've walked. But wait, could something as harmless as a baby carrier be more dangerous than you think? Let's zoom in on that outward-facing position and peel back the layers. I've talked to parents who made the switch at 4 months because their baby seemed bored facing in, only to later find out at a checkup that their little one's hips weren't aligning right. One dad described it to me, voice cracking, saying he carried his daughter outward for hours on stroller-free outings, thinking she was happier seeing the park, the dogs, the trees. Months later, the pediatrician flagged a hip issue, and he couldn't shake the guilt. Why does this happen? When legs hang down without support, the hip socket gets no chance to form properly. It's like building a house on a shaky foundation. Add to that the suffocation risk. Imagine your baby, head drooping after just 20 minutes, chin pressed tight to chest, airways squeezed, and you don't even notice because you're focused on crossing the street. It's silent, sneaky, and terrifying. The TICS rule isn't just a checklist, it's a lifeline, keeping them tight against you, face visible, close enough to kiss, chin up, back supported. I've adjusted carriers in parking lots, sweat on my brow, making sure I could see those tiny eyes every second. It's not overthinking, it's survival. And the stats back this up. Hip dysplasia affects 1 to 3% of newborns, but improper carrying spikes that risk. Safety incidents tied to positional asphyxiation aren't rare either. They're just underreported because they're so hard to spot in the moment. So if you've switched early, don't beat yourself up. Switch back now, keep those knees high, and check your setup. You've got the power to turn this around today. Now let's hit the peak of what's at stake and arm you with every detail to protect your little one. Start with white noise, beyond the basics. Here's why volume matters so much. Hearing loss from noise isn't a distant maybe. It's a direct hit to how your baby processes sound, which is the bedrock of language. Think about a toddler struggling to mimic words because they can't hear nuances. That's the ripple effect. I've seen it firsthand with a family who used a machine at full blast near the crib for a year, only to notice their child wasn't responding to soft sounds. Testing showed early hearing damage, and the heartbreak in that mom's eyes still sticks with me. Use a sound meter app, place it in the crib, turn on the machine, and if it's over 50 decibels, dial it down. Put the device by the door, not the bed, blocking outside noise without blasting their ears. On to mittens. The science is clear. Sucking on hands isn't just cute. It's critical. It moves the gag reflex from front to back, desensitizes it, preps them for solids. Without it, choking risks climb when food starts. It also builds tongue and jaw control. Watch the baby move their tongue side to side after weeks of hand sucking, and you'll see a skill ready for mashed peas. Plus, it's their stress valve. Studies show sucking drops heart rate and cortisol levels, meaning less crying, more calm. I've held a friend's baby, mittens off for the first time, and watched them settle in minutes. Fingers in mouth, eyes softening. And teething? That pressure on gums is nature's painkiller. Back to carriers. Inward facing isn't just better, it's essential. Knees above bottom, legs in an M shape, supports hip socket growth like a mold shaping clay. Outward facing before 6 months is like forcing a puzzle piece where it doesn't fit. Damage isn't instant, but it builds. Positional asphyxiation cases often happen in busy moments, grocery runs, park walks, when you're distracted, and that head droop goes unseen. I've caught myself mid-step, heart racing, lifting a chin up just in time. Follow tics religiously. Tight means no slack. In view means a quick glance down shows their face. Close to kiss means your chin brushes their head. Keep chin up means airways open. Supported back means no slouch. Every letter saves lives. These aren't guesses. They're pulled from pediatric guidelines, parent tears, and my own late-night worries. You've got this, but you've got to act on it now. All right, let's lighten the load for a second, because I know this is heavy, and we've all earned a breather. Picture your baby, tiny hands free, popping those fingers in their mouth, like they've just discovered the world's best snack. It's not just adorable, it's like they're gearing up to be their own little superhero, building immunity with every slobbery suck. I can't help but chuckle remembering a neighbor's kid, barely 3 months old, smacking away at his fist like it was gourmet, while his mom sighed, "At least he's quiet." But here's the magic. That messy habit is prepping him for big wins. Fighting off bugs, easing into solids, even chilling himself out when the world feels too loud. It's nature's multi-tool, and we almost cover it up with mittens because of a few scratches. I've sat with parents at playgroups, swapping stories of those first frantic weeks, laughing over how we panicked at every red mark, only to realize those hands were doing more good than harm. One mom shared how her daughter, once the mittens came off, stopped wailing during teething. Those gums got the pressure they craved, and peace returned. It's a small thing, but it hits home, doesn't it? We're so quick to fix what's natural, missing the quiet brilliance in those chubby little paws. So next time you see those fingers heading for that mouth, maybe smile instead of reaching for the mittens. Let your tiny hero do their thing. It's a reminder that sometimes the best parenting move is stepping back, letting their instincts lead, and just marveling at how much they've already figured out. So here we are, 3 traps we fall into with the best intentions. Flipping that carrier outward too soon, blasting white noise, and muffling those precious hands. Each can chip away at your baby's safety and growth, from shaky hips and silent suffocation risks to hearing damage and missed developmental steps. But you've got the tools now. Keep them inward facing with knees up for 6 months. Use the tics rule. Cap white noise at 50 decibels and keep it far. Trim nails over mittens when they're awake. These aren't hard, just mindful shifts that guard their future. If you're feeling fired up to learn more ways to support your little one, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Your support keeps me sharing these hard-won lessons. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. What's been your toughest call with carriers, noise, or those tiny hands? Drop your story in the comments. I'm all ears for how you've navigated this wild ride.